I am accepting the fact that I'm thinking about death lately, but the fact is that everyone in the world, everyone in the society has been thinking about death all their lives. And the way we think is different. The way people who are not a part of the society, who consider themselves not a part of the society, an integral part of the society, and people who think, who are attached with the social system very strongly, their thinking about death is very different to my understanding. The society has taught us that we are going to die lonely, and dying lonely is a painful thing and it is a bad thing. And people who choose to die lonely are pessimistic, are very are having a very negative approach towards life. And they think that people who are a part of society, who are surrounded by people who have responsibilities, careers, etc., that they are not thinking about death. But here's the truth, here's the fact that their only reason to be surrounded by people, to become an integral part of the society, to have careers, to get married, to have children, to get life insurances, health insurances, is all a plan that is related to death directly, not even indirectly, but directly. Like, assume that a person who is brought up integrally with all the mindset of society, their religion, their parents, their neighbors, etc. They are brought up to believe that they should have an insurance, they should have a strong career, so that when they die, the people around them should remember them even after their death, that they should leave a legacy behind them, that even when they, and when they are dying, they, when they are in their last moments, their last days, they should be surrounded by people. And that is the reason that people mostly talk about getting married and having children. The only reason that they have is that you will die alone and that you will be sad. Apart from that, there is no other reason to get married or to have a socially bound relationship or a contractual relationship as per se. So even if people, the social people who do not accept it openly in front of other people, despite that, I say that subconsciously in their mind, they are always planning for their death and they're not enjoying their life to the fullest. But my understanding of death and why I am probably thinking about death for some time is that we all know we are going to die someday. We all are going to die. But the society that has taught us, that has, you know, fear mongered us throughout history about our death, that this is a bad thing, that if you die alone, it's a bad thing, and dying lonely in your last days will give you pain. But where does this pain come from? A guy sitting in his 25 or 30s thinking if he will die alone, he will have a terrific death. But what is there anything unnatural about dying? Animals are dying. That doesn't mean that they are pessimistic about life. They know that they will die, but throughout their life, they're working for their survival, for the best that they could. But they save themselves from getting hunted by other animals and getting hunted by human beings, etc. But they are not making an empire of responsibilities that are attached to their death. They're not picking up people, they're not picking up other animals or in the need, so that when they die, they are not lonely. Whatever comes to them is natural and is not taught to them by any external thing, any external factor. So people who are even trying to, live a free lifestyle without being tied to other people or the responsibilities of the society or have a career, etc., they are being fear mongered by the entire system, that you will be unwanted, you will be a shame on the society, and that you will be a shame on yourself, and that your death will bring pain to you. But what after death? How does death brings pain to somebody's life? After death, we do not you know we do not know what legacy we left behind. Because what is someone after their death? They're nothing. They go to nothing, I'm sure. People might have different sorts of belief, their religious and spiritual beliefs after death, but even in that case, how does it make any difference that you do not get married? So for in the preparation of death entirely, we sacrifice our freedom for life. We make selfish relationships in which we know that we are not emotionally tied up to those relationships, but we have to keep with them so that we do not die alone. And that is very selfish. Being alone is not selfish. Not giving birth is not selfish. Not marrying someone who you love is not selfish. Getting married so that you do not die alone, having children so that you have somebody to rely on when you get old is selfish, isn't it? And so, when my understanding of death comes, I think that I will be dying alone. But is it going to bring pain in my life throughout my living days? I'm sure it will not. But it's human brain, and it is motivated somehow by the external structure. We are exposed to social media, we are exposed to people, etc. And all of this is society. So as long as society is around us, the structure, I'm not talking about people, but the structure with few guidelines of how a human being should live. As long as this is around us, we are going to feel fearful, and we are going to try our best to gather people around, gather things around us, so that we never live in survival mode. But this is actually the meaning of being in survival mode. Forever working, forever being depressed and anxious and living with people who you don't even love. Like, we have been so delusional all our lives that we think what we are doing is the perfect way of living. But we do not even think that it is the societal way of living. It is not the natural way of living. Yes, I'm going to die. And I might die alone, because I'm surely not going to marry, and I'm surely not going to have children in my life. Because that is a social responsibility. Love is not social responsibility. Love is freedom. When you wish to be with someone as far as you wish to, that is freedom. And if you wish to reproduce, that is should be a personal choice. That should not be a burden from the society, or at least a feel of lacking that you will be shamed about if you have gotten married and you do not have children. This particular topic is being talked about in all particular societies, and they focus on giving birth, getting married, etc. There are so many different kind of communities, societies. Mostly are led by patriarchy, very few are led by matriarchal structures, but all of this is inspired from the patriarchal structure of living. To have somebody permanent, with contract paper signed, and have a lineage, which doesn't mean anything in nature. In the nature, lineage has nothing to do with nature. You die, you do not remember your people when you are done with this life. And we have all sorts of freedom, but what I think about life is that the system around us, the governments, etc., have given us some free will that does not, break their system, that does not, uh, you know, unmask their evil. Till that level, they have given us some sort of freedom. But what after that? What if our free will is breaking their well defined structure? So I have read about animals, there are few animals who think if they are not able to survive, or if they are in pain, or if they are in a phase of life that they will not be able to carry it anymore, many of them, face it, and many of them take their own lives. And to my understanding, the right of living and the right of control on your own life is a very personal thing. Is what why is the society and why is the legal system so interested in stopping people from controlling their lives? What does it give them? Why do they stop suicides? I'm not, of course, I'm not promoting them, but I'm just raising a question that how come they have made it illegal, that people who are not ready to live anymore, and people who are suffering from struggles, etc., whatever diseases, etc., why are they kept held, and why are they punished for it? First of all, they are already in some sort of struggle, that the struggle is so much that they are ready to take their own lives, and on the top of that the legal system punishes them. Like, I do not understand the reasons of making such law, even any law, because we have been convinced into believing everything they do around us. We have been convinced that justice exists, whereas justice, there is nothing called justice. Like, it's just a word that has been created by the society and the judicial system. It doesn't exist. And punishing people who are under stress, who are uh, not ready to live their life, it is their personal choice, and punishing them, not helping them. There are many areas on the geographical map where they help and assist people and do not tag them as mentally disabled. And especially people who choose to live a different life, not on the way of the society, are many a times considered mentally disabled and having mental disorders, etc. But who is society? What exactly society is, that it defines our way of living, our personal choice? I may not get married. As far as I know, in the phase of life that I am right now, I do not see any benefit for my survival in getting married. Just for the sake of manipulating people, manipulating my own children, which could be in the world if I plan to, and manipulating my own uh, partner, my own loved ones, so that I do not die alone, so that I have them on my deathbed around me, surrounding me, consoling me, and I die so that after my death I remember that I had people. But after that, nobody remembers anything. And for that particular moment, we are just wasting our whole life and giving up on our freedom and giving up on our own emotions and our own feelings to compromise, to not travel, to not go out of our limits, to follow a career, to follow a dream showed to us by the society itself, showed to us by the television, by the books, by religious people and our parents. Whatever is going on in the society, whichever career is trendy, our parents, our influences try to convince us to for us to follow it, and we end up not following our own personal calling. And there is a differentiation between our own calling and what we have learned from the society. And to my understanding, we have learned everything from the society only, and rarely there are people who are trying to listen to their own natural calling, because who will respect them? And people are dying to be respected and accepted in the society. So everyone is thinking about death, not consciously but subconsciously. They're everything they're doing in their lives is for their death, because they know after that death they will be no more after 70 or 80 years of their life. But why do people give up so much? Why do people struggle and hustle so much to just live 70 years of their life? And why do people not understand that 70 and 80 years are not much, that they could live a very free and irresponsible and rebellious life for 70, 80, or 90 or 100 years? It's not a very long time. It can be a long time when you are enjoying your life, but making everyone happy, sacrificing your own happiness for others, and making so much money to buy insurances, making so much money to buy life insurances. Why everything like that? Like, what is the meaning of all of it if you do not gather relationships, if you do not gather responsibility? What is the need of having you know all these insurances, all these careers, all these responsibilities? Whatever we are doing, we are doing it for other people, so that other people respect us, that we chose this way of living. And this thing is not clear to me, to my imagination, and I can never understand the basic behind it. And this makes me sure that human beings can be convinced into believing anything and everything, and they will give their lives for for the system, like the soldiers are giving their lives. People used to marry their daughters off and give huge sums of money as dowry, so that the society just respects them. Had no sense. People are now giving huge sums of alimony so that the society respects them and the judicial law doesn't treat them badly. But the first thing is, why are we getting married? If everything is leading us towards pain, more bondages, more relationships, and more ambitions, more careers, more commitments towards ourselves, if everything is taking us towards a much more painful death, then why do we not choose a an easier death? Because we are all going to die. So why fill our lives with so much pain already, so much stress, so much relationship, so much responsibility? Because responsibility is a type of pain. I see men talking about that once they fulfill the dreams of their families, they will live for them. But what is the need for that? Their parents gave birth to them. It was their parents' responsibility to fulfill their children's dream, because children did not choose to have parents. Parents did. I might sound very blunt in talking like this, because society has convinced into thinking so emotionally about everything and not look at life naturally and logically, rationally, but with emotions. Because emotions is the only thing that can sell us everything. We buy products with emotions, not logic. No, sir. We do every investment, we do everything possible in the world so that people do respect us. And seeking respect gives us pleasure. Pleasure is a form of emotion. But how about we can feel all those emotions without doing all of this? Society won't let you live, or you won't let the society to let you live, because it is our personal choice. The society cannot force us into getting married or have children or choose a career path, as long as we do not let them. It is a free choice. If we are so delicate and tender, that other people's tears and other people's emotional outburst can make us do things which are bad for ourselves, then we are not responsible for ourselves. We are taking their responsibility, and simply the social structure has successfully conquered our subconscious brain. I'll see you in another video. If you have anything to share about how you are planning about death, not planning, but what do you think? How is it going to be? Is it going to be lonely, or is it going to be surrounded by people? Or are you going to gather so much around you so that you give up all your life for them? Or are you going to Give your life to yourself for your best, for your happiness, and not responsibilities. See ya.